Hey friends, welcome to a brand new episode. And today's episode, 3 tricks to make your Halloween treats more macro friendly for women struggling to lose weight, specifically when you are trying to track your macros. Welcome to the show, Lose Weight with Macros, the basics with me, your host, Verona, behavior change nutrition coach, personal trainer, and CBT mindset coach. If you are new here, welcome to the show, my friends. You are in for a treat, pun intended. And if you are a regular, new or regular, grab a chair, virtually or literally, of course, your tea, your coffee, your water, your matcha, because today's episode is going to be a juicy one filled with fun-filled facts. Try saying that fast a few times, and also all the things macros related. Friends, if you've got a sister friend that wants to hear this show, please share it with her because she will need to know the tea just like you have. Now, my friends, let's get into today's episode. Hey, friend, welcome to Lose Weight with Macros, the basics podcast show with me, your host, Verona. If you're somebody who's overwhelmed by all of the conflicting information out there, you're confused about how much protein you should be eating, how to count macros, you don't have time to figure out your macros, and you're sick and tired of repeating the same old boring meals because it is exhausted, you are in the right place. This Lose Weight with Macros Basics podcast is specifically for you. You're the woman who wants to learn how to track your macros and do it sustainably, do it in a way that you can enjoy your foods and you don't have to cut out your favorite foods, and we're not here for that. So my friends, if this is you, grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab your water, grab your matcha, your notepad and pen, because today's episode is going to be a juicy one. So buckle up, friends, let's get it. Now, I know how hard it is to avoid the cookies, the cakes, the pies, the Reese's peanut butter cups, and all the other favorite foods that show up at every single holiday party or this Halloween season. And then there's the stress of feeling like you should be able to eat whatever you want because it's the holidays. And I'm sorry, for those of you who are from the States, that was my best American accent. But guess what? When it comes to the holidays, I'm encouraging you to tell you that you don't have to give up all of these things and just have that all or nothing mindset coming in to sabotage your weight loss goals or your macros. You know what? I've messed up already this week. I might as well just give in. Let's not do that, friends. If you're trying to enjoy your holidays without obsessing over the things that you can't eat, or you have to feel guilty about eating them, and then when you do decide to eat them, you start to feel like you're cheating on your diet or cheating on your macros, or you're never going to hit your macros, or you're going to go over. We discuss all of this in Focus on the Fat Loss. So we focus a lot on self-sabotage, the mindsets, the all or nothing. Can we go through the activities? Your girl being a CBT mindset nutrition coach, I'm giving you all of the tools that you can go and grab every single holiday season if you are struggling with it. And the next round is opening up in November. vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/focus is the place for you to find out if this is the program for you and you are ready to join us in November. So how are you doing? Before we get into the episode, I just want to point out that October is one of my favorite times, one of my favorite seasons of the year. It is literally the time of year when all of the sweets and sugar and candy aisles at the grocery store are filled with all of your favorite foods, all of your favorite treats. And you know what? It's like, you know what? I need one of those. I need a bag of those. Have I got any? No, I haven't got any of those. And you know what? It's accustomed to. In the US, I know, and it's also big here. In fact, I went out to a couple of homes the other day and they have decorated their houses with cobwebs and all of those things, ghosts and ghouls. Now, I'm not a fan of Halloween. I'm a Christian, but I'm not a fan, or I'm not a Christian who celebrates Halloween. If you are a Christian listening to this episode and you're doubting whether or not God wants you to continue celebrating Halloween because of all of, it's about worshiping. It's not actually about worshiping the devil. You're not worshiping the devil, absolutely not. But because of what it represents, All Hallows Eve can represent evil, etc. If you are a Christian, and even if you're not a Christian and you want to know a little bit more about where this actually came from, a fantastic episode I'm watching actually at the moment and still going through is, I'm going to give you the name in a minute. So The Line Christians Should Never Cross on Halloween, and the author is Ruslan KD, Ruslan KD. When you go to watch it, tell him I sent you. He don't really know me, but tell him I sent you anyway. But I think it's an open, honest, candid conversation, and it isn't that, you're going to go to hell if you celebrate Halloween. It's an open conversation between him and another well-known pastor on the internet. And I think sometimes as Christians, we can get, even myself at sometimes, we can get a little bit like, oh my gosh, don't celebrate this. It's the devil. Yeah, well, there are some practices where it makes it evil, and some Christians are not practicing evil things. For me personally, that is not what I'm going to go through. But I found this discussion really, really helpful. It wasn't just a bashing anything. And so that's my stance as to why I don't listen and why I don't follow Halloween, because of what what it can represent, and it can represent overindulging and overeating sugary foods and sugary treats. So that's personal to me. I will link the video down below, but it's totally up to you. Now, I know many of my listeners are from the States, and so you do actually follow it. I'm not here to judge you. It's not about judgment at all. It's to equip you to know that once Halloween comes, in fact, if you're listening to this on the 31st, I might release this a few days before Halloween so you can be prepared. But actually, this is just to help you when it comes to tracking your macros. Not everybody has the same faith as me. So I am a Christian woman, and I make no mistake. I make no doubts about that. I always share my faith. I'm honest with my faith. But it's also understanding that not everybody follows the same faith as me. And so for this, if this is you, somebody who wants to track your macros, but you want to know how to trick, do you like my title there? 3 tricks to make your Halloween treats. See, I included trick or treat and Halloween, more macro friendly. So I incorporated what I do as a macros coach and also the season trick or treat. No? Okay. I tried. I tried. But I just wanted to just really touch base on for you. It's not about me, it's about the listeners. But anybody who wanted to know, that's why I don't particularly celebrate Halloween, because of sometimes what it's been turned into to celebrate, or to celebrate is a strong word, but it is like celebrating the dead for me. That's my personal view. Not everybody that I know has this view, but that's me. Anyhow, you're not here for my views. You're here for some tea, okay? All right. So before we get into the tea, I'm going to give you some fun facts, right? So it is estimated that people are going to spend $3.1 billion on Halloween candy. What? You know how much money that could be for other things? I mean, on sweets, really? And you know what? The sweets don't really have a long life shelf by date, or especially if you're buying chocolate. Oh, you might think, yeah, I'll buy loads now from Costco. I'll buy them in bulk and then try save them for next year. Have you ever tried to eat or tried to dig out a year-old chocolate? It's not good. You can actually see that it's stale. I had years ago, a family member tried to do the same thing with Easter eggs, and they tried to buy chocolate eggs, and it's like, oh, I saved it for you. When we opened the egg, my air freshener says hello. When we opened the eggs, it was definitely not right for consumption. If it was, that mean the most that probably could have happened, you probably would have had some belly aches and stuff, but I wasn't going to risk it for the sake of a year-old chocolate egg. But that is crazy. That statistic is absolutely crazy. There's also another statistic that says most of the Halloween shopping for candy is already completed by the second week of by the second week of October. So I'm recording this in the second week of October. So chances are you already have your full-size chocolate bars, and you already have all of the Halloween candy that you're going to give out and that you're going to eat for yourself already, because you are on it like Sonic, like myself, when it comes to stacking up on the chocolates for Christmas. Over here in the UK, we have like a big tub of chocolates, celebrations. If you've ever tasted them, some of us, I've sent some influencers some of the UK chocolates. So you've got some celebrations, some heroes, some big tubs. Imagine having a big tub of assorted M&Ms, Skittles, and Reese's Buttercups. Imagine that in a tub, all of our favorite treats and chocolates that we have in a miniature version, and we have that at Christmas. And what they tend to do, a buy 2 for 1 kind of thing. And so they have started to stock that out now, because they know that they go for really ridiculously cheap, like £4 a tub, or £4 a tub, equivalent to $4. In fact, the dollar is more than the US, the pound right now. Anyway, diverting, rambling, let's get back into some more fun facts. So some other fun facts that I found. Did you know 172 million of you do celebrate Halloween? 30% of all Halloween purchases are actually bought online. An average out of that 3.1 billion on Halloween candy, many of you will average spending $27 or 55 cents. And among the 172 million of you that celebrate Halloween, 95% will purchase candy. And the overall Halloween spending is expected to be 10.6 billion. Now, that doesn't just say on candy. Actually, it is on candy alone, on sweets and sugar alone. Whew, that is ridiculous. Overall spending in the year 2022 is predicted to be 10.6 billion. 3.6 billion is predicted to spend on Halloween candy. And you know these statistics, I'm a little bit geeky when it comes to these statistics. You don't want to become a statistic. When it comes to weight loss, do you want to become a statistic? You've already bought it now, so it's no judgment. You bought it, you're going to eat, you're going to enjoy it. I'm not telling you, I'm not, doing this to shame you. But those statistics are quite true, and they base it off of the information that we give them, the surveys that we're filling, and then it's predicted by a certain year that we are going to become, most people will be on a diet. And I do this podcast so you don't become a statistic and you don't become most people. So that's some of the fun facts. And now let me get this right. So AL is Alabama. I'm straight from the UK, so these states are really testing my knowledge. So the top three candies for the year again. Number one is Reese's Buttercups. You have Reese's Buttercups is number one. You've got Skittles and you've got M&Ms that are the top purchase or top favorite Halloween candy, and that is the top candy the top candy purchased for Halloween in the States in Alabama is Skittles. I cannot say the number of this, but it's 105263 pounds of Skittles. And Arkansas is Sour Patch Kids. Arizona, Hershey Kisses. AR is Arkansas. Is that where Dorothy came from in The Wizard of Oz? Butterfingers, 201,837. Hey, Jolly Ranchers still exist. Oh my gosh, that's in second place. You've got Snickers, you've got Mars in first place. Who likes Mars? Ugh. Actually, no, Mars is not even in there. Mars don't exist. But yes, this is in different states, though. This is the top candy in different states. You've got hot tamales. I hope I said that right. Lifesavers, Reese's Buttercups, Butterfingers, candy corn. Some love, some hate it. Starburst, Jolly Ranchers. Wow, we used to have those and they discontinued those. Sour Patch Kids. Oh, I'm a fan of those. I can eat the whole bag and I need to stop eating it. Candy corn, double bubble gum, Butterfinger, Skittles, Butterfinger, and they just keep repeating it. M&Ms, Twix, Sour Patch Kids, and different. It's quite interesting, even for me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if anybody wants to send me some of these, please let me know. I'll happily take some of your candy off your hands for you. But this was just some of the fun facts that I found when I was geeking out, looking at, and preparing for this episode. This is just some of the interesting information that I found. And you might not even know that. You might not even know that 3.1 billion. You might not even want to know that 3.1 billion has been spent on Halloween candy. But this is interesting because when we say that, you know what, healthy eating is expensive, or we say that I can't afford to eat healthy, I can't afford to this, I can't afford to that, but we're spending on average $27.55 just on candy alone, it kind of puts in perspective quite abruptly where our priorities are. Now, I'm not saying don't have these things. If this is what you celebrate, I'm not saying don't buy them. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that you need to put things into perspective, because when we're buying and spending this we're contributing to the 3.1 billion on Halloween candy, and we're saying I can't contribute even $5 towards buying some frozen vegetables and then cooking that with a lean protein source, plant-based, or chicken or tofu or whatever else, and I can't do that, then there's something wrong with that picture. But that's a total another episode. That's not a rant episode today. Today's episode is 3 tricks to make your Halloween treats more friendly. Now, anyway, so I'm going to get straight into it. So trick or treat yourself. If you're trying to lose weight, it can definitely be tempting to skip this celebration altogether, or to skip this season, or to skip Halloween, October the 31st altogether. After all, the holiday is known for its sweets. That is what it's known for. One of the things it's known for is the sweets. The other things is the ghosts and the ghouls that it's celebrating. Not me, but for those of you who do celebrate it, this is what it's known for. And when you're on a diet, those sweets seem downright treacherous. It's like a diet could forbid you from ever eating a Reese's Buttercup. Huh? How many points is in a Reese's Buttercup? Absolutely not. How many sins is in there? Absolutely not. Do not eat them. 15 sins in a Milky Way? Oh, absolutely. That is your whole sin allowance for the whole day? Oh, shame. Never mind. But the thing is, when we go into the chocolate tub, you don't just want one Reese's Buttercup. When you've got that taste of the chocolate and then the peanut, I'm not a fan of it, but you got the chocolate and the peanut, because I don't like peanut butter, but you got the chocolate, the melted peanut butter, and sometimes you can freeze them and it just and Snickers and the M&Ms and the Milky Ways and the Skittles. Oh, wow. And then your diet dares to tell you that you can't enjoy that. You're like, whoa, what do you do? Do you then decide to trick yourself into having it? Do you sneak it in so then you don't actually log all the calories? Do you actually know that those little sweets that we have are like 5 calories per little gram, like 30 gram or 15 gram? Or like if you think of a Milky Way, a mini Milky Way, or a Kit Kat or something like that, you can never have one. 2 fingers of a Kit Kat is never enough. Am I right? Especially if you like chocolate and sweets, it's never enough. So when the diets are telling you absolutely those are downright treacherous, it's like, what on earth can I do? But I'm here to encourage you, friends. Don't let your fear of sugar keep you from enjoying one of your favorite holidays if you are a fan of celebrating this holiday, especially the sweets. And some of them are nostalgic and they help remember your childhood memories. There are lots of different things and lots of different reasons around it. But thankfully for you, there are plenty of ways to make sure that your Halloween treats are not going to sabotage your macros. So tricking or treating yourself? Well, To be honest, our body needs some sugar occasionally in order for us to stay sane. I don't know about healthy, but to stay sane. So why not just give yourself enough for the occasional treat? Remembering balance and moderation. Like moderation, that can mean different things to different people because your moderation could be the whole bag. My moderation could be two. But it's important to make it realistic to your goals. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, go over to Focus on the Fat Loss, vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/focus, and grab your spot with us because this is the group coaching macros program that you want to be on if you want to know how to navigate your nutrition for Thanksgiving and Christmas. But when it comes to all of these things, it's important to be mindful about the types of foods and drinks that you're choosing at your parties, at your homes, the foods that you're bringing into the home. Because if you're trying to restrict yourself and you're trying to trick yourself in it instead of treating yourself, what's going to happen is you're going to end up restricting yourself and then you're going to say, I deserve a treat. And then you do that. But what happens is because you've restricted for so long, you end up binging to the point where you get bloating, to the point where you get stomach cramps because of the sugar alcohols and you've eaten too much too quickly because of the excessive weight gain, because of the lots of carbs. And you're going to think that you're fat. You're going to think that you're overweight. You're going to think all of these things and you're going to start to say all these negative things over you, and then you're going to start your diet over again on Monday. Ironically, the 31st of October falls on a Monday. So when you're struggling with this, think of it as, what is your goal? I'm talking about goals all the time because this is where we start off when it comes to coaching. It's important to remember what your goal is. Next one is not to limit yourself. Now, one of the most common mistakes that women make when I work with them or in general is trying to lose weight by eating too little food. We often worry that if we don't restrict ourselves, then we're going to gain weight. But ironically, research shows that this is not true. In fact, when we eat less than our body needs for energy and growth, it will start to adapt to it. Not starvation mode, but it will start to adapt to it. All of the metabolism will start to adapt to any way that we eat, whether we're eating more or we're eating less, exceedingly less. It will adapt to it. So what will happen is you will start to feel the effects of that adaptation, whether you are eating too much or too less. So if that's the case and you're limiting yourself, you are going to find the struggle is going to intensify. Now, when it comes to Halloween, when it comes to the treats, not all of those are macros friendly. However, you can track them in your macros app. If you have your macros guide, vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/macros guide is the free guide that gives you an overview of what macros are. If you're listening to this podcast and you're like, what on earth are macros? Are you talking about an Excel spreadsheet? No, I'm not talking about an Excel spreadsheet. But if you're thinking, what is that? Just go and download the free guide. After the free guide, if you're like, okay, now I want you to calculate my macros for me. How do I know what my macros should be? Where do I even start? Then you want your macros customized. So that is vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/custom-macros. There I will calculate your macros for you, taking into consideration everything. Now, there is a video over on the website that you will get once you sign up, and I'll tell you the outline of it. But you can also go and listen to episode 138 for fat loss Q&A. Should you track your macros to lose weight? That is all things focus on the fat loss. So if you're like, what is focus on the fat loss? Without you spending any coin, without you investing and putting any skin in the game, listen to episode 138. All of the questions about what focus on the fat loss is, who it's for, except the price, because the price has changed, which I did give you the caveat for in that episode. But you can find out everything to see if you're a right fit for this. Now, not everybody is a right fit because it's only 20 of you that I'm going to be coaching through this round in November. So if you want to know what this is and you want to know if you're a good fit for this program, go and listen to episode 138. If you want to know how I coach, listen to episode 137, and that is a step-by-step client that I am coaching through the process of fat loss. So let's get back into today's episode. So we're talking about don't limit yourself, and we've also talked about tricking or treating yourself. You see the pun that I did there. And we're also talking about the fun facts or harsh realities of the Halloween industry and how much money they make off of us. And sometimes we have to appropriate, hang on a minute, is this justifying if I'm going to go all out by decorating my house, by putting all of the cobwebs up and the whatever it is that you do when it comes to Halloween for you personally, you're buying the costumes, you're all of those things that you're doing. And you're also buying sweets, you might be hosting a party, whatever it is that you're doing, does your thing where you say, I have no money to eat healthy. How much money could you save to invest in your health by cutting back on a few sweets for this holiday season or another? That's just a question that I'm going to throw out there. You might be like, well, no, this is absolutely one holiday that I'm not gonna, result on. And there are gonna be some Karens that are listening to this and be like, well, how can you tell me not to do? I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm telling you, if I'm challenging your question that you might ask to yourself, or you might actually say, I have no money to eat healthy. Well, we need to consider where our money is going. If we're saying those things, consider where your money is going. And I've addressed that many, many episodes before. So if you're somebody who wants to enjoy Halloween treats, I'm encouraging you to tell you it's okay to treat yourself, because this is the one time of year that many people want to have a little fun and enjoy some treats. But the important thing to remember in landing on this episode, the important thing is you don't have to go overboard. Just because you've got it, it doesn't mean that you need to have it. Now, some of you might decide to hide this away for, your stash throughout certain times. But if you're somebody who's addicted to sugar, like I literally was addicted to sugar, this is going to be a hard time for you. It's going to be a very hard time for you, but restricting yourself is not going to work. Going on a sugar detox for 30 days after in November, from the 1st of November to the 30th of November, then the 1st of December, again, you've got Christmas again. Instead of doing that, make a plan so that you know how to stay on top of it. And one of the ways that you can do that is by tracking your macros. When you know what your macros should be, when you know your personalized, customized macros for you, your lifestyle, your body weight, your goals, etc., it is easier for you to plan. It's easier for you to have fun. It's easier for you to enjoy some treats, and it's easier for you to learn to not go overboard, because you're becoming accountable now for the food choices you're making. And we learn this a lot more in Focus on the Fat Loss, and you'll learn this if you're somebody who doesn't want the accountability of me, girl, as your coach, or you just want to just get on and do with it, know your numbers, and you just want to get on and do it on your own. There's so many things that you can do. Not everybody needs one-to-one coaching. Not everybody needs mindset coaching. Not everybody needs group coaching. You can absolutely go and do this yourself, and that's literally is called custom macros. So that's where you go and get that on the website. But it's important to understand in wrapping up this episode that you can absolutely still be healthy, achieve your goals, meet your macros, still lose fat, and still treat yourself. See what I did, pun intended. But if you're somebody who is worried about your weight, or you start to feel guilty about eating your treats, don't let that take over your whole day, because it can have the power to take over your whole day, especially if you let it. Now, instead of letting yourself get carried away with sugar and carb-filled sugars that we love. Hello, I'm somebody who loves them on any night. I don't just wait for one night. I can have it at any time. And I had Kit Kats, plural, with some peppermint tea, and I absolutely dipped the finger in. Oh man, it's amazing. It's like a biscuit in tea. Oh, woo. So I allow myself. I know that now, because I've been doing macros for a few years. So now I know my goals, and that's why I want to coach you to be able to help you do this. So next year, so you know how to navigate this. This is why I'm doing it in November. We're not doing it over Thanksgiving, but this is why I'm preparing you to how to have a healthy Thanksgiving, but still enjoy. And if you want to slice a pumpkin pie, enjoy your pumpkin pie. That's another season, and that's another holiday where you've got all sorts of treats. So sometimes you guys in the States have more holidays than we do. Not even sometimes, but you have more holidays. And when it comes to holidays, it's surrounded by food, sweets, desserts, cakes, treats, and lots of it. Even here, when we go at Christmas, there's Yorkshire puddings, there's gravy, there's stuffing, there's cranberries, there's loads of things, there's chocolates, there's desserts, and there's lots of it, because food is a fellowship, like food, fun, family. Nobody wants to think about having to restrict yourself from that, because it's boring. Who wants to do a diet on Christmas Day? Who wants to do a diet on Thanksgiving? You should be giving thanks for your friends, your family, for life, for food. Nobody wants to say, oh Lord God, I'm thankful that I'm on this diet that tells me that I can't eat potatoes, I can't eat any gravy, I can't eat this. Nobody wants to be sitting at the table for Thanksgiving. Okay, let's give thanks, and you're holding hands and you're telling everybody, and that's what you're giving thanks for. Nobody wants to do that. Likewise, nobody wants to give thanks for being restricted, which is why keeping track of what you eat throughout the day is key. It will help keep you accountable for the food that you're eating, the portions of it. It's not to make you feel guilty, it's to give you awareness. And that is exactly why I created the custom macros plan and the coaching, to equip you with the things that you need, so that you don't get overwhelmed if you have an off day, so that you don't throw in the towel if you happen to, fall off plan, or you come away from plan. If you're struggling to lose weight, do not let this stop you from enjoying your celebrations. The key is to keep macros in mind, when deciding what you're going to eat for Halloween, if that's what you are celebrating. And don't forget about the rest of the year. Halloween is one day of 365. There are loads of different holidays if you're in the States or even in Canada that you celebrate, and even over here in the UK and other parts of the world that you celebrate. Every one of those celebrations, or most of those celebrations, will involve some type of food, some type of fun, games, family, friends. But it's important to know that if you're struggling, not to let this one day forfeit you from building a healthy foundation with macros, yourself, and your relationship with food. So, my friends, that is it. Those are the 3 tricks to make your Halloween treats more macro friendly for women struggling to lose weight, specifically those of you who have more than 5 pounds of fat to lose and you want to be able to have your cake and eat it too, but still burn some fat. Girl, I got you. Head over to the website vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/focus and sign up to join your girl this November. It is going to be a good one. And now with that, we are at the end of this week's episode. I cannot wait to catch you on the next one. Hey friend, you made it to the end of the episode. What was your biggest takeaway from today's episode? Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review over on iTunes. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about today's episode, or you need help, then you can contact me over on Instagram at VA Nutrition Coaching Podcast, or email me support@vanutritioncoaching.co.uk, or you can head over to the Facebook page VA Nutrition Coaching Podcast. It helps us reach even more women who are fed up of dieting, don't know how to lose weight, they're frustrated with following Sally's results and they're not getting any of their own, and they just finally want to shed some pounds and do it in a way that they can sustain and they can enjoy. But my friends, that's a wrap for today's episode. I can't wait to catch you on the next one. Until then, friends, stay healthy, stay blessed, and remember, if you haven't already downloaded your 5-ingredient recipe pack, you can go to the website vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/recipes and download your 5-ingredient recipe pack. Who said healthy eating was boring? See you next time, friend.